Hey everyone, it's AJ Barcet with Bellingham Podcast Media Tech, and in 2016, we left you with Ted. Thank you, Chris. The other thing is that we're also very transparent. All of our equipment, all of our workflow.
It's very mobile. We have two phones, we have two particular microphones, and two cables. That's it. That's it.
We also left you in a cliffhanger. We were talking about the ghost of technology's past, and we went a little bit long last year on the last episode, and Chris and I decided to split it into two parts. And this is the conclusion. This is episode 24, the first episode of 2017, where we rejoin where we left off. But this time, it's the ghost of technology's future. Welcome to BPM Tech 2017. From the very frozen city of subdued excitement, I am AJ Barcet.
And brand spanking new for 2017, I'm Chris Powell. On this episode, AJ and I are going to take a look at technology of the future. That's right, folks, we live in the future. And we'll also check out some fine spots to go a Whatcom Wandering. Happy New Year, y'all. It's time. Let's get it started right here on BPM Tech.
So this is part 2, Ghost of Technology, the Ghost of Technology's Future. And so this actually picks up right where we left off from episode 23. So let's swing around, okay? So we hit with wearables as hardware, post-apocalyptic PC being that we're always connected all the time, and where that data is going. So what about this new trend about the connected home? And this is something that, I mean, Google is starting to leverage Super Bowl ads with their Google Home. We got Alexa with Amazon. You know, what do you see is the connected home, and does the typical person really, do we need to now start talking to our house like, you know, Jean-Luc Picard? House, Earl Grey, hot.
It's a wonderful thought to be able to have our home be our personal assistant or to be automated in our absence or even in our presence, but I cannot shake the mental image of Minority Report, the movie from the years past with Tom Cruise. He comes in to his flat or his place and he says, "I'm home." And his lights turn on and there's music playing and he goes to pour himself a bowl of cereal and there's this hologram of these two annoying characters, you know, singing the jingle for his cereal as he's trying to do something, and he flings the cereal box across the kitchen. And I'm realizing that could be where we're headed. Thank you, Steven Spielberg, for painting such a dystopian view of the future in technology. What I'm seeing is, have we gotten this lazy that we need to have our home be managed by another source instead of us? And that's what concerns me. If we are gone for a week, to be able to check a phone to see the temperature in our home with the Nest app is very convenient. But also, I think it's important to be able to have a friend or a family member that we could say, "Hey, can you check on the house to make sure it hasn't burned down yet?" When we go and are gone for a day and we come back, do we need to have the lights turned on for us at a certain temperature, at a certain hue? Now, I used to be a bachelor. I know mood lighting. I know what that's all about. Do we need to have an ability to change lighting? This is the cool factor that we want everyone to be envious of us. Do we really need this? Now, there are those that need dim lighting as you're up late at night with a young toddler or an infant.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I understand that. Are you an early riser and need help getting up in the morning to have a gradual sunrise that may make things awake? The days of the alarm clock were around for a long time, and people still, slam their alarm clock when it was time to get up. So I purposely do not have anything automated in my home. I'm not ready for that yet. I'm not ready for what that could mean and how that could be abused and how that could be hacked by someone outside in the street with some device that I don't know about. I have a very secure password on my wireless router. That's about the only kind of automation that I have at home.
So you and I are get ready. Here's opposing views. So here's the thing. Like, I've gone a little bit farther into home automation thing, and I've got the connected fire alarms, and I've got the Nest, and I've got light fix bulbs. And you mentioned a couple of the reasons why I use some of those products. is because they're tools. And so, for instance, the reason why I have the Nest originally is for one thing: efficiency. And the thing is that like if you have friends and if you have family, well, hopefully you have friends and family, but some people, like my family, is ways away. There's no way they're going to be able to check on the house.
Yep.
You know, I've got neighbors and stuff, but still, it's nice to be able to take care of your house and be autonomous with your home ecosystem from the perspective of efficiency. I don't want to waste energy.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is I went into this because I wanted my house to be as tuned as I could to save me some coin with the nice folks at PSE and Cascade Natural Gas. But also, like, again, going more green. I went with LifeX because they're LED bulbs. And because of a Wii one, it allows me to be able to set schedules and help my wife with those late night feedings, with having red light and all this other jazz. Again, using all of these things as a tool. Now, with that said, I do not have anything, including Siri, because I have that stuff turned off, listening to me 100% of the time. And I think that's where you and I kind of both see the line in the sand is, using technology as a tool to be more efficient, to be more green, to help stop global warming, or to save sheeps in Ireland, whatever that goal is, technology, we tend to gravitate towards, supports that. But where you and I both kind of just jump up and down and scream like one of those, or actually when we look like one of those cartoons from Bugs Bunny with the steam that shoots out of our ears, is when it gets to this point where it's like, wow, have we gotten to the point where that lazy? That I feel like we're getting to that epicenter with a lot of the connected home. I do not need my toaster to tweet me. I do not need my refrigerator to tell me that I'm out of eggs. That's what pencil and paper and having a grocery list is. I mean, sometimes technology... There's something that I've said time and time again. Technology is a tool. And the moment that it stops being a tool and being useful, it's no longer a tool. You can't say that it's helpful if I have to take 5 steps to five phases to be able to, find out what's in my fridge. I can just get up, open the door, and see, At what point does efficiency and technology intersect and we have to say, look, that's a really cool, the mood lighting. It's really cool that I can talk to Alexa, but really, is it really helping me?
I guess there's been such a media saturation about the new shiny, every commercial break during football games, that everyone's having a good time, everyone's being all happy. But I'm also thinking about many people that may not have liquid cash to be able to dedicate to efficiency. I think managing one's residence is important. And for the cost of some of these devices, which will make things efficient and make things a little more secure, I at this point, I just want to take the side of those that may not be able to afford it. And you bring up very good points. We definitely do not disagree on that. But I would say that it's okay that we disagree on this because I get a chance to live vicariously through what it's like to have a connected lit home, and that's wonderful. I do have, full disclosure, I've got a on the wall thermostat, digital thermostat, but it's not connected to anything. But I program it so that when we leave at 8 a.m. on weekdays, it goes down to 68 degrees. And if our daughter's sick and staying home, or like a snow day, she go me cold. And so we adjust the temperature overnight, et cetera, so I don't have to go to the thermostat at 11 p.m. and drag the little slider up to 70 when it's time to go to sleep. That's convenience about saving some energy. I think it's the point that I have, or the where I'm at, is just being connected so much. I'm still a little paranoid about someone being able to take control over my settings for the Nest thermostat, even though I have a very strong, secure wireless network.
I feel you. And then we actually saw a DDoS attack where people, the hackers that were actually launching the attack, use connected devices because they have just enough processing power that they can be leveraged. And you're right, I do have those concerns. But I also, much like you, have big burly password. I also have a sub network. Like there are. For people like us, we can look at the pros and the cons, and we know what security measures we need to go through. But you're right. For the lay person who are just like, cool, I got a Nest. I have it on my Wi-Fi network that's connected to everything. that is a concern. And there is a little bit of literacy when it comes to that, you know, we haven't gotten there yet. But again, I can appreciate the efficiencies, and you're right. Sometimes I am a little bit lazy, where it's like I could literally get up and change the thermostat, but I reach for my phone. I totally feel you.
But I wouldn't want you to consider yourself lazy, AJ, because you're one of the busiest guys I know. But if we can do things that would free up time for us, and that's something I'm a big fan of, then I'm for it. However, I'm just worried about the security part.
I feel you, dude.
We've started to see this 3-letter anagram term infiltrate the zeitgeist or the mindset of the collective in 2016. It's called IoT. All of these little things are the Internet of Things. And in 2017, that may be a big topic as far as if something can get hacked just by getting these devices. Boy, howdy, this could be something big when it really hits mainstream, and you can find it for $25 on aisle 6 at your favorite Walmart, Target, Fred Meyer, all-in-one shopping store. So that's just a concern that I have.
That you're listening to BPM Tech on KMRE 102.3 Bellingham, Washington. Let's look at something else. So let's simmer down a little bit.
Simmer down now.
Simmer down, okay?
Let's get happy.
So here's a little bit of a happier topic, or maybe not, okay? But we have seen, and the buzz of this last year has been a lot around video. The thing is that like where is video going to go going forward? One of the things that I see a lot, and I've had colleagues and friends, you know, in the photography community mess around with this, is 360 video, 360 photography. And for the first time ever, the Macy's Day Parade was streamed, which is cool, okay? But they also streamed it in 360 video, which if you're watching on your 55-inch flat screen TV, looks horrible. You know, it's one of those things where, you know, at what point it's cool that we have the technology, but at what point is it efficient? Like, do you feel that, like, there's the PlayStation VR? It is like the most consumerized VR unit on the market right now. Do you feel that 2017 is going to be the era of the VR and AR?
I've been watching a lot of commercials for Samsung virtual reality where they're wearing the big goggles, for lack of a better term, the big Etch-a-Sketch,
big Etch-a-Sketch. I like that
on their head, and it's black, and you see the quote unquote natural, spontaneous reactions of people at parties. I see them during the football games. Go Seahawks! But unfortunately, I may not see it being adopted fully widespread yet due to the price point. This is still new technology, and keep in mind when the iPhone first came out, it was pretty darn pricey, and the concern I have with VR in 2017, it may not be ready for everyone because, one, it looks stupid. and two, I believe that it may not be understood because there are so many phones out there in Androidville to be able to put on one of these VR contraptions. Now, I guess I'm turning into a grumpy old tech guy, but I don't see it happening because our reality, I know we want to escape from reality with what we're currently
I was going to say, that's the topic, Chris.
I know, but we still need to move out and about. And if we're all on a bus or if we're all in a car and one person's driving, but everyone else is on their VR thing, it's going to be at a point where there's going to be such a disconnect that people aren't going to, or you could get pickpocketed or something else bad could happen to you. I just don't think it's ready, but educate me, AJ.
So here's my take on AR and VR. You're a Star Trek fan.
Yes, I am.
Do you remember when
the game with Ashley Judd and Will Wheaton?
Yes. I feel like that's where we're at right now. It's just like everybody wants to get to the point where we just have a digital blinder, and we're just playing the game.
Everyone blamed Riker on that stupid trip to Risa. He brought it back. He infiltrated the Enterprise, was going to go to the Starbase and infect the Academy. I blame Riker.
Okay. So, wow, we went really geek on that one. I love it. So, but here's the thing is like, I do feel like for gaming, I think it's cool. Like having an immersed feeling with regards to interactive media, I think that is a cool application for it. But I don't think it's not ready for prime time for the silver screen. Like being able to watch a full immersed 3D movie. First of all, how do you hide things? Like we have people behind the camera. There is no such thing as behind the camera when you're in AR and VR. And what's funny is that I'm going to pick on somebody who is actually trying to experiment with this. Maybe you've heard of him. His name is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
I've heard of that guy.
Yeah. So funny enough, this last year, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson just launched his YouTube channel for the first time.
What? So he launches what channel was it?
It
doesn't matter what kind of. I'm just kidding.
I knew you were going to do that. I was just like, wait for it.
Thanks for the setup.
I smell what you're cooking.
Yes.
So, but here's the thing: is that he wanted to, outside of what he does as an actor, outside of what he does as an entrepreneur, and everything that he is as the people's champ. He also wanted to experiment with this concept of 360 video. He actually produced or helped produce a 360 video where it's actually about a story that's like these people out in the wood. Like think of if you've seen The Rock in like Mystery Island. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like one of those things. Okay. But what was interesting to me is that I watched the special features, as it were, and they talked about the difficulty of doing something like this where you have no way of hiding something, and there's only so much digital graphics can do over the top of it too. And acting, you really have to be whole body acting. It's not just I have a close up of you. Mm-hmm. Me as the viewer, I can see what's around me. I can theoretically, if it's in 4K, I can zoom up. I can see every micro expression, lighting, miking, all of the things that we tend to kind of ignore when we watch our favorite Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 that's coming out. The thing is that when we are passively watching something, we kind of just sit back and we just have the story told to us. Whereas in 360, it's like video gaming. You kind of have to be a little bit interactive. You have to move around and see what's going on to really see what that director envisioned. And I think we're not ready for that yet.
No, not yet. With many things, let's harken back about 80 years to when everyone was sitting around the radio and they had sound effects and they had people talking. And then all of a sudden you got to watch them on television. It was a bit of a change because not everyone got a TV right off the bat. It took a while. Granted, there needed to be infrastructure. But as far as 360 video, like those 3D movies, I want my brain to relax a little bit as I'm absorbing content. And I don't think a lot of people, the cool factor will be there, no question. The price point is going to be there, no question.
Yeah.
But will the standard society adopt this? I don't think so. In 2017, there'll start to be more, and I think it'll probably come from the top down, where they'll be introduced in TV and TV shows and movies will allude to it. But stay tuned on that one. I wish I had the crystal ball. I wish I had that sports almanac that future Chris gave me. Hey kid, take this. Bet on the Carolina Panthers in the 2015 Super Bowl. What? The Seahawks are going to win? No, anyway.
No, that's a trend that I'm seeing coming up in 2017. The other thing is that I feel like 2016 really had the YouTube fallout, where we had all of these vloggers and these independent, I'll call them indie video entrepreneurs that have been on the platform for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And like they started when they were in their teens and now they're in their 20s. And it's like this moment where they're like, oh, wow. Do I really want to keep doing that? And
so with all these YouTube stars, I'm just wondering if they had like a 401k set up or if they were adequately compensated. Yes, they may want to go into other creative ventures, but I'm wondering, sure, they could pay the bills and they gain the fame, but perhaps they were thinking, is that all there really is in my quarter life? And so that may be why they're moving on, but I don't know the full story because I'm very selective about what I watch on YouTube.
Sure. But I mean, that goes into really well. Another thing that we saw really boom in 2016 is this whole idea of the sharing economy. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't just mean like Uber and Lyft. What's the...
Airbnb.
Airbnb.
Yep.
I'm not talking about those things. I'm talking about like Patreon or Kickstarter, Indiegogo, GoFundMe. Like more and more people are trying to crowdsource their community to get projects off the ground. And even at the higher levels, look at Amazon. We have Amazon Greenlight, yep, where they are taking on, independent directors that would never see the light of day on the big 5 networks or get any time with Paramount, MGM, or anything like that. And it's interesting that, by sourcing it out by the people that would, are you willing to pay $5 for this? Go see this? How about 10? How about 20? Like, it's interesting that the creators are finally getting the power to do what they want to do and give it to the people that are willing to pay for it. It's like it's direct to source, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that trend continues because, full disclosure, I am a Patreon creator.
Yes, you are, and you should support them out. You should support AJ out there, ladies and gentlemen.
But more important than that is I've found a community of people around the world, just more than just Bellingham. And that, as an artist, has fueled me to do more and push my artistic bounds. Not in the same vein as what we've seen in the last, I'm going to throw YouTube under the bus, 6 years of monetization through ads, where you get an ad injection that has nothing to do, or maybe it's not even supporting, or the artist is supporting that, but they have to run it to get their 5 shekels, to get that check at the end of the month from Google Ads.
It's a trade-off of trying to get your content out there. And yeah, if everyone was to pick something that they enjoy, for me, it's music. For you, it's photography and music. And if there was some way that we were able to be encouraged and appreciated for our work, that would take off like gangbusters.
Yeah. And so, like, Jack Conte, if you ever listen to our show, from me, you are the goods.
Hi, Jack.
Hey, Jack. But no, like, I'm serious. Like, we've seen this huge rise of it, but we've also seen the seedy underbelly of it in the creation community, where we've heard of Kickstarter people that, hey, get this project up the ground. I know nothing about business, but hey, if you fund me, I'll get this to you. And they take your money and they run. It's one of those things where also a little bit of buyer beware, but nevertheless, like, it's one of those things where it's interesting looking at 2017. How is that going to be morphed in the future economy that we're going to see for the next 4 years?
That's a really good question. And I just hope that there would be more opportunities where people would take a look at what's out there and see how can they make themselves happier. And in some of these people on Instagram that are getting swag to post with Instagram, they have hundreds of thousands of followers. Well, take a step back. You've got hundreds of thousands of people that are following you. You've got the fame. Do you really need to shill for something that you may have an ethical disagreement with?
And that's, so full disclosure, I was one of those Instagram guys that did have some swag from a company, and I did disclose it, and it's one of those things where, as an artist, like, it's one of those things where it's like, oh, the starving artist. No, that's not what art's about. Like, if there's a tech company that reaches out to me and says, hey, I like your style, do you like our product? And can we do a collaborative? You and I have done that, between your tech business and my photog business. Like, it's about in the music world, I think you're going to get this, okay? It's like jamming. Like, it's just, you have a guitar case, you walk the streets, you meet another artist, and you start jamming right there on the street corner. And hey, at the end of the night, you got about, $5.50. You split it between the two of you, and you go down to the local coffee house, and you go buy yourself a cup of coffee and talk about how awesome it was just to perform. Yep. And that is where I hope all of this moves to. And with companies like Patreon, I feel where they're going, and I hope that they just go like gangbusters, because Jack Conte is an artist. He was one of those guys on YouTube that YouTube wasn't paying him his dues for what he put into his art. And I just hope that more people get empowered by that.
For the love of the art.
Yeah, and you've been listening to us on BPM Tech on KMRE 102.3 in Bellingham, Washington. So last but not least on this whole wrap-up, it does deal with video, and it's something that I'm excited that's finally getting traction.
Wait a minute, stop. AJ Barcet is excited about something technological?
Yes, it's not
Hit me.
It's not even technological. It's more that people are waking up from the Matrix, Chris.
Oh!
Cord cutting.
Blue pill, red pill.
Cord cutting.
Oh, yes.
Like this little niche that for 4 years you and I have been like, okay, how can we get rid of big bad cable? And, sports has always been the hanging thing. But hey, look at this. NFL partners with Twitter. You can watch games on Twitter. Awesome.
Yep.
You can still get it out of the air. We talked about that on a show this last year. But here's the thing is that more and more people are realizing, oh, wait a minute. I don't, like our last show, I don't need to spend $200 on a cell phone.
Nope.
I don't need to spend $200 on TV that I only get to watch 3 hours a day, except for maybe the weekends.
Nope.
Awesome.
Yep.
And I'm glad to finally see things like HBO Go, HBO Now, where you can buy it a la carte. Not all of the networks are going that. They're still partnering yet. But we're starting to see traction in this. We've seen Apple try and arguably fail with their most recent iteration of the Apple TV. But this appification of channels where, hey, you want stars? Buy stars.
If you want C-SPAN 4, buy C-SPAN 4.
Do you have to buy C-SPAN?
I think they need to pay us in order to watch it, but yeah.
Well, it's part of our government. Isn't that transparent? Anyway, but nevertheless, I'm glad to see that we're finally getting the a la carte universe that you and I have been waiting for. Now, yes, a lot of people argue, well, gosh, you might have to spend a lot more to get all of the channel. Ask yourself, did you ever really watch all the channels? I guarantee you that bachelor that is at home, that doesn't like kids, does not care about Nickelodeon, Nick 1, 2, and 3,
Home Shopping Network,
Blue's Clues, like, you're getting bloat. I only watch HBO for 3 months out of the year. So I'll pay for HBO for 3 months out of the year and drop it. And I save money over the year that way.
You said something just recently in this that really I had not even considered. People are watching TV for 3 hours an evening. Ish. I don't have any data about it. If you take the amount of hours that you are watching television and you divide that by your monthly bill, now you can decide how much is this costing me for this show. And as you compare and contrast, the big companies have already done this already, but if you go to have that long, hard talk with yourself, what do I actually watch? Game of Thrones, Daily Show back in the day when I cut cable, that's what I missed. Oh, look, it's on the net for free. But if you figure out what shows do I watch, now you can put a price on those shows. Apple's already done it for you, $34.99 a season, delivered to your Apple TV. Amazon with Prime gets you this after it's been released. Now you can take a hard look, and sometimes people are realizing, for what I'm watching, I could watch it elsewhere.
Exactly. Like, let's give it to the person or people that created the content so that they get the most bang for their buck, because it's them that's doing the work.
I'm all for that. Amen.
So to start out this new year with Whatcom Wandering, where are we meandering to?
So even though the first Whatcom Wandering, I kind of threw Meridian Street under the bus.
When do you not?
Yeah, well, in this case, I can't because it's more accessible. There's a place on the left side of the road called the Hilltop. And the Hilltop is all about great food.
Really?
According to their commercial jingle, yes. My wife introduced me to the Hilltop because I never gave it the time of day when I was a bachelor. And it is a wonderful location. It is packed on a Saturday. You want a good breakfast, kids? Go to the Hilltop. They got your hookup. You want to have a real decent burger, traditional straight up American meal? The Hilltop has got you covered. You want to have ample parking? Hilltop's got you covered. I would say for a family restaurant on your way to Linden, on Meridian Street, past, I think it's a Laurel stoplight, give the Hilltop a visit because it's just one of those straight up great American restaurants, traditional cuisine, and they've been around for a long time, but their breakfasts are killer.
Dude, okay.
Yes.
I did not know this.
How about you, AJ?
So to start out 2017, I'm going to start it out right. It'll be Chris Powell approved because it's going to be outside. It has nothing to do with food.
My name is Chris Powell, and I approve this Whatcom Wandering.
Okay, so here's the thing. So if you head up north, okay, and you could take the I-5, and if you head out towards the Lummi Nation, you can take the Slater Road exit, and you're going to head towards the Lake Tyrrell Archery Range.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So Lake Tyrrell, it's a cool little. It's really cool because I believe the land is actually owned by the refinery. But to park there, you have to have a Discovery Pass, so one of those Washington State Parks passes. You can park right there, and the range is cared by the local, I believe it is the Ferndale Archery Club. And so what's cool about it is that for a nominal donation, I think it's like $2. If you are into archery, or if you have a bow and you're wondering where you can go to practice legally, it's a full range. Nice. And so it's a really nice activity. It's like a golf course, but for archers.
Very nice.
They have like 18 holes, as it were, 8 targets, and you go basically walking around this, but they have different, like they have water, like just like in golf, you have a water feature that you have to shoot across, type of thing. Right. You have elevation, you have grades and stuff, but they also have a staggered range. Work on your accuracy. Take a look at the Lake Tyrrell Archery Range. It's just fun, and there's lots of local archery clubs if you want to get into it. I'll probably put some links in the show notes.
I commend you on this Whatcom Wandering just because it's an experience.
So that wraps it up for this first edition of BPM Tech for 2017. Thank you so much again for listening to us, rating us, reviewing us on iTunes, the Google Play Store, SoundCloud, or anywhere else that you get your podcasts. Also, be sure to tune into us in this new year, if you're in the Bellingham area, to
102.3 FM KMRE, low power.
And we're on usually around 1:30s on Saturdays. That's 1:30 p.m. and 9 a.m. on Thursdays. You can tune on into Chris and I on your way to work. Thank you so much again. And I'm AJ Barsay.
And I'm Chris Powell. Happy 2017. Thanks again for listening in, and we'll see you next time on BPM Tech.